listen.
Never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Getting on baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
Usually this is when I say there's nobody I'd rather talk to than blah, blah, blah. Why don't you say it to me? Say it to me.
Well, since I am outranking you in our business, I would love to introduce the one, the only person in this world that I'd rather have be on my show, even though it says Bradford Show back there. It's not. It's my show.
Sold.
Than the one and only Robert Bobby Bradford. How are you doing, bro?
That was. I think I like that. At the same time, I don't know. All I know is this: is that how long did it take you to figure out how to change the title of your call? It asked
me this. I think I probably would have missed it a million times, but it asked me when I tried to click the link, obviously for this podcast, and it had a box, and I was like, oh, what's this say? Usually I just skip right past it, I think. And I don't know what my tag is usually. I think it's blank.
It's just Joe. It's Joe.
I've never wrote Joe, though.
No, I know. This is Joseph. Joseph. Yeah.
So maybe that was saved before, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it somehow got unchecked. I saw that it said save for future meetings. So maybe that was unchecked for them last time we talked. And now my box was open. I had a clean slate, a new tag, a new gamer tag, as you might know. So I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to write my title to let everybody in the world know who is the CEO. Really the CEO of life right now. You know what I mean?
You're the CEO of life?
CEO of life.
CEO Joe.
It's got a little ring to it.
If we can do one off. I don't know if those T-shirts would sell, but I could do one off. That's maybe my gift to you,
CEO Joe.
CEO Joe. So there you go.
And then it will be a picture of your face, looking up to me,
And then another picture of my wife folding T-shirts in the basement.
might be a hot seller, dude.
Do people?
It's a nice basement, though. It's a nice basement. Let's not just call it a basement. You know what I mean?
No, it's a store. It's not.
It's a store, dude. It's not a basement. It just happens to be below the house.
No, it's people. There's a line around the corner.
Yeah, it's an underground store.
Yeah, there's a line around the corner. It's like a speakeasy. Yeah. Do people say? Well, I've never asked you this before about this podcast because obviously, anytime I talk about our venture, our brand, our corporation, and by the way, since we're a publicly traded company, there's no secret. So we're just talking about whatever. We're men of the people. Do people say, "Oh, how's that podcast going?"
Once in a while.
Yeah,
once in a while.
What do you say?
I don't know what I say, honestly. I guess it depends on what kind of mood I'm in. It depends if I know the person on a personal level or if it's just a fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, because you can say anything you want. So you can say the podcast is doing awesome. We've had great guests on. I'm on all the time. I'm interviewing people left and right. So just say whatever you want. It's all good. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, it just depends. I said, if I'm feeling froggy, I'll let them know how it's going. If not, I'm
what? Froggy?
Great. Yeah, I'll be it's great. If I don't want to talk to the people as much as they want the conversation to keep going, I'm it's great.
It's great. BB isn't boring.com.
Yep.
Bye. See you. Bye. BB isn't boring.com.
BB isn't boring. Bye.
But what I go into clubhouses. You must take. I send you pictures because
Yep.
I don't know how much you consume social media. I don't. I know that Ashley has social media. I don't know what she shows you, what she does, whatever. But
Yeah.
I try to send you stuff. But people, obviously, I'm going to build you up now. People are always talking about you, asking about you, saying what a great guy you are. I get you know what I get a lot of? I get
What
a
is it?
lot of like guys who like, oh, I really, really like looked up to him pitching.
Jeez, you made me sound old, man.
Well, you are.
These are apparently the young kids, right? The young guys.
Who was it? It was somebody.
There's too many to name. Just say it. Just put it like that.
Yeah, it's too many. Well, anyway, but they're always asking like, how are you doing? How's Joe doing? I don't know. I don't think he got hit in the face today. So I think he's doing pretty well.
I don't have. Yeah, they a man of a mystery. I'd like to put it. You know, a lot of people are wondering how I'm doing, but I'm doing great. For a simple answer, for all those young kids, all those super fans, you know, I appreciate you being a fan of the CEO of Baseball Isn't Boring. You know, it's hard to put in words, right? I've had it before where, you know, there's college kids or like, you know, high school kids, but now I'm getting to the point where like crew who's 6, like some of the kids we play, you know, like their parents will be like, "Oh, that's Joe Kelly," and they'll be like, "Who's that?" You know what I mean? Because like they haven't watched like too much baseball on TV, or
Yeah.
they were too young to like remember. Like maybe they saw me when they were like 3, but so like that's a good age for me. So I think, you know, with Knox's teams, it's tougher, right? The 10-year-olds, you know, I'm getting stopped left and right, but there's Danny Herron has a really good travel ball team that's 9. They're the
Yeah.
number 1 team in the country. And so all of his kids and all the times he goes to the baseball field and all the games he's coaching, he can walk around like nothing, bro. Like I've never seen anyone stop Dan Herron, not one person.
Wasn't
And so
he was
it's great. It's
Go
great for you know. I'm very optimistic. I'd say as being local here and you know Dodger fans everywhere. I'm very optimistic for you know crew to you know my 3-year-old for when I'm coaching their travel ball teams when they're older, where I'll be able to just go to the field and not one person's going to ask for a picture.
No,
That would be
well,
nice.
ask for a picture because of 2 things. What are they? What are they?
They'll be like, "Is that the CEO of Baseball Isn't Boring?"
Yes, correct.
Absolutely.
And then also the master tactician that you are as a coach as well.
Yeah. Hall of Fame travel ball coach.
You should have another thing, business cards for you.
Yes.
CEO Baseball Isn't Boring / future Hall of Fame travel ball coach. So
First ballot. 100% of the votes.
what have you been to any Dodgers games? This year? No?
I haven't.
No. They're gonna keep that. Someone asked me this of you. They keep that mural up forever, you think?
Who knows? Until, I don't know, a new owner or new whoever. I don't even know who's in charge of that stuff.
Well,
Right?
I don't know, but they should. They should absolutely. I mean, by now, you haven't pitched here in a couple of years. By now, I told you this before. They should do it because it makes people learn about the culture, the history of the franchise. It's not just here's Kyle Tucker,
Yeah.
right? Hey, gather around, little kids. Let me tell you this story.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh! You know that BIB hat that got? Oh! That's him. Oh. Ooh.
That's a good call right there.
The what?
That's a good call. It's like that mural is. There's history, right? There's history in the minor leagues, correct? So, I'd say, I'd put my mural up there at Dodger Stadium. It's almost the same, but not the same. It's the minor league version of having like a Ted Williams statue on Yawkey. It's not even called that. Whatever they have in front of Fenway Park. You know what I mean? It's a little piece of history from an organization that is world renowned, from a player as myself that was loved by the fans, but it's the minor league version of it. You know what I mean? So it works. I'm still part of the organization, but I'm not going to have ever a statue, right? Unless I become a Hall of Fame travel ball coach. You know, I might put one in my front yard. Who knows? But it is still part of history. And like you said, it is a question where people are like, what is that there for? And they'd be like, well, that person in that suit was in the White House and played for the Dodgers and is half Mexican, and the culture of mariachis in Dodger Stadium. It all just ties into one thing. So I'd say I'm probably like the AA version of a Ted Williams statue.
But
Does that make sense?
No, it's great. It's great. I think we've workshopped that perfectly. And
Yeah.
I think that I would say this. I think that you probably more photos have been taken in front of that than the Ted Williams statue.
I mean, there is like 50,000 people there every single night. And, you know, Fenway Park only holds like, what, 33?
Well, I'm just saying you walk by. It's just because it's no disrespect to the Ted Williams statue, but
Ted Williams, the GOAT, right? I'm not putting myself with Ted Williams.
Yeah.
But there's really not too much. A statue is really not too artistic, right? And like a mural and like painted by someone who's super popular, my buddy Jonas. It is a little bit of the culture of street art, right? And the history of the Dodger franchise. It signified a moment that people loved, and you know, will keep forever. So a statue, there's only like so many things you could do with a statue. You know what I mean? They're all the same color, right? A person's not really making it. I mean, I could be wrong. We'd have to chat GPT it, but I'm pretty sure it's getting sculpted by a machine, correct? And then maybe hand finished. But a mural is a wall and an artist, just him and his spray cans of paint, doing what they do best.
And brushes, yeah.
And brushes. And plus, it's huge, bro. A statue, you could only fit so many people in it, right? You could fit a group of 50 people in front of that mural and take a photo.
No, like, dude, like it's first of all, a statue is like a bobblehead. It never comes out like it is. It never comes out like you want it.
Yeah, true.
Right? It never, it's like Tom Brady's head. Why is Tom Brady's head so small and his body so big? Like, I don't,
go.
you know, but it's like bobblehead. By the way, bobbleheads, tariffs. I found this out. Tariffs are killing the bobblehead industry.
Not for the Dodgers.
Well, they got out.
They're putting out a bobblehead every homestand.
They got out ahead of it because I was workshopping some bobbleheads.
Oh, got it.
And I heard that the terrorists, that's a story. Pablo finds out tariffs and the bobblehead industry. But anyway, yes, I agree. I think that we both came to that conclusion, and that's why I am making this plea to the Dodgers: never take it down, never ever take it down. Don't do it. Don't do it. So
the only way that thing goes down is if the earthquake we've all been waiting for just levels everything.
Well, let me tell you.
And then they'll rebuild it. You know what I mean? They'll put it right back up. You know, it's one of those things where it's like that goes up first. I don't care.
When the San Andreas Fault earthquake comes,
Yep.
The first thing we have to rebuild is the Joe Kelly mural at Dodger Stadium.
Absolutely. You know, even though California will be an island, you got to go find those pieces.
Well, speaking of celebrating you, this is what we do this podcast like with every month and a half just to build you up. What's going on there?
I'm trying to listen.
I
was getting blown on by my AC. It's getting kind of cold.
You dig it in?
Yeah.
So I told you we had a lot of stuff going on, and one of the things that we are in negotiations, because again, since we are a publicly traded company, we are very transparent with everything. We're negotiating.
We open up the books if you ask us to.
Well, you don't want to see them. By the way, a lot of people showing interest investing. Anyway, that part we won't make public right now.
No.
No, but we are in negotiations for a baseball isn't boring night at a Major League Baseball stadium, and so I want to workshop this with you a little bit because my first inclination was bobblehead, but then I found out about the tariffs.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking like, well, what? I mean, I looked up your you've already had a bunch of you've done the pouty bobblehead, the mariachi jacket bobblehead, the riding in a car bobblehead. The one bobblehead that hasn't been done, but I think it would be too complex as you beating the crap out of Tyler Austin bobblehead, which would fit in this particular baseball's boring night. But
that bobblehead has not been made.
No, I know, but
that's a fact.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to do it. But I will say this: I'm not going to say if, when this baseball's and boring night happens, it's going to be I think a signature moment for us. For 4 years we've been grinding away, right? This stuff doesn't happen overnight. Baseball no es aburrido just doesn't happen overnight, right? No. But I did, if you were going to throw out the first pitch, I want to give you the option of how you want to do it. You've thrown out first pitches before.
Correct.
You're doing it again, other places, I think on other places.
Yeah.
But I can, if you want me to get someone to catch it, especially if you want, just hear me out.
Okay.
Spitballing. If you want to maybe simulate someone charging you and beat the crap out of them, or at least simulate beating the crap out of them, that might be fun.
Yeah, that could be a good idea.
Okay.
And who's that person? You?
Whatever. I'll do anything for the brand.
I love that.
So we could do that. But if you had to throw a first pitch to somebody, is there anyone you want me to fly in?
I don't think we'd have to fly this person in. I think this person shows up to Fenway Park quite often.
Okay.
I'd like to make a formal proposal when we have this baseball isn't boring night at Fenway Park.
Okay.
The job that this person has is quite difficult, and they usually receive praise, or they usually receive a lot of negativity. So I think it would only be a win-win for this person in the organization who is held to a very high standard, who has had plenty of success, who has had some failures. But ultimately, it's about the fans. And I think to get back into the good graces of the fans, I would formally like to propose Mr. John Henry to catch my first pitch.
All right.
I still keep up with the Red Sox fans. They have been disgruntled a little bit. So
you're a healer.
I am a CEO healer of, just my life's mission is to start making people love people. You know what I mean? Unless you're an asshole, then fuck off. What do you think about that? You think Johnny Boy could catch the first pitch from me?
Yeah. Yes.
He doesn't have to simulate charging the mound. Obviously, everyone knows how that would end up, right? So I would like to throw him a nice strike.
I think that would be a great idea.
That would make baseball not boring, right? How about the owner of one of the most prestigious franchise teams in the history of all sports catching a first pitch from a former player that he had who helped him win the World Series? You know what I mean? I think that would be a great cause. How many times have you seen an owner ever drop the puck in a hockey game?
Oh, have you ever seen? Right? He did it for you, right?
I dropped the puck.
Oh, okay.
But he was there. Yes, he was there with me.
Yeah.
He's cutting ribbons, but he would be the first. He'd be going down in the Guinness Book of World Records for the only owner to catch a first pitch. So we got to make this happen quick, or someone's going to see this podcast and be like, "Fuck it." Mark Walters of like the Dodgers and be like, "I'll catch a first pitch tomorrow."
No.
Or Mark Cuban, or someone's going to be like, "You know what? I'm going to go out to tip off, and I'm going to throw the ball in the air."
As you know, we have an extensive legal team which prevents such things happening. This is basically by
We're huge.
By you
We
saying
covered our butts. Yeah, we're covered.
By you saying this, TM.
We already patented the first pitch owner, former player thing.
We did.
It's under an LLC. What do you think about that? You like that?
I love it. And I'm going to say this. I'm confident that he can catch it.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah. I think he can catch it. And
no doubt.
You are a unifier. You are a healer. As you basically ended the lockout. People forget this. You ended the lockout. Remember that?
Or did everyone come to an agreement?
No. You ended.
Do you think everyone read the LA Times?
It was literally a week after. You wrote a story in the LA Times.
That was
an op-ed in the LA Times.
Read by every owner of every team.
Well, the premise was that let's not forget what we're fighting for. And you didn't take sides. You just said, let's not forget. And it's not a coincidence that a week later it ended. You ended the lockout. I mean,
there you go.
It's just facts.
I mean, a week later to the day.
Just facts.
It took God 7 days to create Earth, right? I mean, a week later, everything comes in weeks.
Hold on. Let me write that down. Joe Kelly, God creates Earth in 7 days. Joe Kelly solves lockout in 7 days. Coincidence?
There you go.
I don't think
Coincidence? So. Nope. God created Joe Kelly. Hence, there you go.
All right. I like that idea. All right. That's good. John Henry catching the first. You're right. It's never been done before.
It's never been done before.
Yeah. And you have a good, like you said, you go to hockey games with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, all right.
We are both UC Riverside students. We are both alumni.
What?
Did you not know that John Henry went to UC Riverside?
No.
Exactly. There you go. Google it. He dropped out. He's an alumni of UC Riverside.
Are you serious?
I swear. Look it up. I promise.
Okay.
So there you go. 2 Highlanders, player, owner. This could be good for the offseason, That could end the lockout before it happens.
Oh.
7 days before the lockout happens, we do the first pitch a week before.
Well, that would be. I don't think Fenway Park's going to be being used. To be honest.
No.
So, all right. By the way, all right. I feel like we've solved that problem. There's nowhere to go from there. I'll take care of the rest.
All right.
This is a terrible segue, but I was watching it in St. Louis. Your former home. Do you see what they're doing? Taking their shirts off?
I have not.
Oh, you didn't?
No. Who's taking their shirts off?
The fans. A bunch of fans. I think it's mostly college kids or something. They call it tarps off. So it says like they all basically, it's like a big celebration. They're taking their shirts off. And then it went to another, and then the Rays fans did it. So good for St. Louis because like finally they show some personality. I'm not saying St. Louis, but you were all documented and talking about that.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's trending in the right direction. Have you ever been to a game where you took your shirt off?
A game?
No.
No, not even as like a little kid in between games. Hot. I don't think so.
Okay.
What about you?
When you were, yes. Yeah, it was
really?
Because back in the day they used to do that all the time.
Yeah. Sunbathing.
Yeah.
Day game.
Yeah. But when you were out in the bleachers during your suspension, did you see anyone without their shirt on?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
That's my point. We're bringing it back.
Yeah, it's coming back. I like it.
All right. Okay. I have questions. Hold on. Because I wanted to, hold on. I wanted to let people ask you questions. I had a couple. Do you have any questions for me while I'm looking this up? You're a podcast host.
Do I have any questions for you?
Who weren't you going to get someone on the podcast? Were you going to talk to? Who were you going to talk to? I forget. Anyway.
How many questions do you have there?
Just like 2, 3.
You're pulling it up like you can't remember 3 questions.
No, well, I can't. I'm keeping the train moving. That's why this podcast is so good. Did you buy, by the way, that hat you're wearing?
Yes.
Scientifically proven to be good luck.
And scientifically proven to make everyone who wears it go up 1.67 points on the scale of 1 to 10 of how hot you are.
Oh,
It's a fact.
is that true?
Yeah, I saw my buddy, not very good looking guy to feast your eyes upon, right? Some people would call him a slower version of an oxalotl, but he put on the hat and he instantly went from moms hiding their kids' eyes like this, don't look at that man, to like people open a door for him and say, "How you doing, sir?"
Really?
Yeah, you know what I mean? 1.67 points on the scale of hotness.
Did you see Kyle Schwarber? I mean, Kyle Schwarber couldn't put it on his head fast enough.
Because he knew that what it instantly does for your outward appearance.
And also, you hit home runs.
Yeah,
Facts.
there you go.
Excellent. By the way, once again, I said this to you before. You did an excellent job with that hat. I'm not just saying that. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, it hit. All the kids, they love it.
It didn't hit kids, but people like buying the hat.
People but it's a backward B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're clarifying that the hat doesn't hit a lot of kids.
Oh, it doesn't hit kids. No.
Yeah. We're just making sure everyone knows that.
No. Yeah.
Because I've seen stuff like that before, being half Mexican, hat, chancla, belt,
Well, I'm going to pivot away from you and ask this question.
All right. Yeah, please.
All right. Sammy James said, how would Joe self-describe his fighting style?
How would Sammy James?
No, Sammy. Yeah, he's asking that. How would you describe your fighting style?
In words, I'm not going to put it in words, but I'm going to put it into an animal out here in the world, right? A reptile. There's one reptile in this country, honestly, that is the king of all others. And I'm going to go to snakes, right? I would like to think of myself as a king snake. They are called the king of all snakes for a reason. And the reason is they are pound for pound the best constrictors in all of snakes. So if it was as big as an anaconda, it would smoke an anaconda. And they are called the king of all snakes because they kill rattlesnakes and eat them, because they're like one of the only snakes with blood that venom doesn't affect them. So they kill snakes for fun and they will eat them out in the wild. That's why they are called the king snake. And they are not the biggest, but pound for pound, they are the best constrictors on the face of this planet. So
you're a king.
I am not the biggest guy, but I think pound for pound, I am a king snake.
All right. That's a pretty good answer. Would it be able to protect me against a javelina outside your house?
No. But if there's a rattlesnake right there, it's got your back.
Okay. I'm still scarred by javelinas attacking me.
You didn't get attacked, bro. You killed a baby. That's so messed up. PETA's coming after us.
By the way, I don't know how much you pay for that Ring camera, but whatever
I
you
don't have it
paid,
anymore.
yeah, well, whatever you paid for it, it was worth it just for that one video.
Absolutely. I could edit that video to make it look like you purposely killed a baby javelina.
Oh well.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Here's a kind of a serious question from Eden Noel.
Serious. Wow.
Well, not really. Please ask him what he told himself at the lowest point in his career to keep going. You're here to educate, inform, and
Jeez
entertain.
Louise.
Yeah. I don't know.
I was always pretty not I wouldn't say I was ever optimistic, but I was always a realist. So when I got to like the lowest point of my career, I would be able to laugh at myself because I knew it couldn't get any lower, right? So I was a realist going like, well, eventually I could literally do the same exact thing and I'll have success. So that was probably one of my best things that I tell, my young kids or players or anything. Like to deal with struggles of a Major League Baseball season. You know what I mean? Even the best pitcher in the world is gonna have a bad outing, right? But every offseason and going into the season, I would tell myself like, at one point of this season, I am gonna be the best reliever in all of baseball, hands down. And at one point of this season, I'm gonna be borderline releasable. And so when those things came to fruition, I was able to not get too high mentally, like think I'm really good. And then when I was doing that bad, I was able to deal with it because I knew that at some point something like this would happen. Because that's what baseball is, right? You could get hot, cold, whatever. But when you're struggling, people that are struggling and really have problems mentally, whether you're playing in Boston, New York, LA, and they can't get out of it, it's because they weren't expecting to ever fail, right? I'm a realist. I fucking knew I was going to fail. I knew I wasn't going to be an all-star. I knew I was going to be a Hall of Famer. So at some point, I knew I was going to suck ass. And so when I did suck ass, it was so easy for me to deal with it. You know what I mean? Like I could just be like, well, what are you surprised for, Joe? What are you shocked at? You're a career 3.8 ERA guy. What are you surprised of not having success in the big leagues? It's a hard game. So when I told myself all that, it was easy for me to move forward. You know what I mean? And when people were like, damn, you're Dylan, bro, you got 22 shutout innings. And I was just like, I knew at some point this would happen, but eventually it's going to end. Like, I'm not going to go Oral Hershiser 57 innings. You know what I mean? So when I was doing really, really well or doing really, really bad, I already told myself 10 months before that this was going to happen. So it wasn't a big deal.
That's a good answer. It's a much better answer than I anticipated. All I could think of was you predicting you're going to win the Cy Young. Hey, if you win the Cy Young, who knows?
We would have never had baseball as boring,
I'd
be Cy CEO.
Honestly, like I've said this, that might have been the first time we ever talked.
I believe so.
Yeah. Because, when you came over to the radio station and said, I'm going to win Cy Young. All right.
I was just trying to get you guys some publicity, you know what I mean?
And then your manager called you. Don't do that.
Manager John?
Manager John.
I miss that guy.
I see
John,
him.
if you're watching, miss you,
I
buddy.
see him.
Do you?
Yeah, he's a lobsterman right around the corner from my house.
What does that even mean?
He's a lobsterman.
Is that some kind of code word for some kind of like swinger dude?
No.
He's like hosts the parties of like these big old Diddy parties.
No.
He's a lobsterman. You mean like a fisherman?
Yes.
That's what they call him, lobsterman?
He gets lobsters from the ocean.
Is that what the technical term, a lobsterman?
Lobsterman.
Dude, how come I've never heard that? Give me a break.
Well, just hang out in the East Coast a little bit.
All right.
This one is from Carmi American Legion Baseball. This is the last one.
Did you say commies?
No, Carmi. Carmi. Please ask Joe if I'm an idiot for continuing to tweet to Bryce Harper for 2,773 straight days to get him to follow us on Twitter, or he's just a bad guy for not doing it.
You're asking me what do I think he's seeing?
So this guy has tweeted at Bryce Harper for 2,773 straight days to follow him on Twitter. I think at this point, I
think I know exactly what he's doing. I would do the same thing if I had Twitter. I would see how long you could take this thing. And the day you don't tweet at me is the day I probably would follow you back. Be like, damn, bro, what a streak. Congrats. And then I'd like give him his flowers, tip my cap. And then he's going to be pissed. Like, fuck, I didn't do it. And then the next day after that, 24 hours later, bam, follow.
You're right on. See, we're
You know
here.
what I mean?
We're here to make people better.
Yeah. He's trying to see what kind of mental fortitude this fan deserves for a follow. And the day that you stop is the day he's going like, that was really long, bro. I appreciate all those days in a row. He had to beat Cal Ripken, right? He beat that streak.
Yeah, and if he stops tweeting, Bryce Harper,
the game's over.
Also, he might think he's dead. So
yeah, true.
Probably wants to reach out.
Yeah.
So then you got him. Then you sucked him in. Then you've got an acknowledgement. Boom.
Then you got to follow.
Yeah, there it is. All right, we've solved a lot of the world's problems.
Yes, we have.
All right, thank you.